Yo, what up, guys? What up? What up? Guys, in today's video, I came across this post and I want to share with y'all. And pretty much the topic is what are some great truths of computer programming? So I'm kind of going to go through that. I thought it was an interesting post. I got some inputs. I want to kind of touch bases on it. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about this video, guys. But again, guys, before we get started, hit that like button, guys. Give me a follow. Give me a follow on Twitch, my social media platform, guys. And let's get started. I get a lot of like notifications, right, from just different sites and a lot of good stuff. You know, some of them just interesting, quick reads. But this one I thought it was interesting, man, that I wanted to kind of share with everybody. And pretty much, I mean, when you look at it, the title, right? What are some great truths of computer programming, right? So I kind of want to go through the list and kind of share this with y'all, and let's kind of talk it through. And the first one got me, dude, and I'll explain to her in a minute why. So the first one is a programmer is not a PC repairman. Just no one seems to remember that. And this is so true, guys. So damn true. Like, I'm a software guy. I know how to build apps and do all kinds of stuff. Dude, you know how many times I've had, like, my cousins or just family members or whatever be like, hey, man, my TV is broken. You think you could fix it? Like, dude, I don't fix TVs, man. Like, what the hell? Or, whatever, right? Whatever equipment they have. Here's the thing. Maybe PC I could fix because I deal with PCs, like I build my own PCs or whatever. But that's not what they asked for. Dude, it's like, oh, my TV, man. I got my 65-inch TV doesn't work and something happened or whatever. Like, dude, I don't do that kind of stuff, man. I don't know if y'all had that problem, but it has happened to me, man. And I have to remind people, like, dude, I don't fix that kind of stuff, man. I get it if you maybe have a PC questions of, like, something related to your desktop PC or even laptop, right? But dude, really, man? Like, no, man, I don't fix that kind of stuff. No, I do not fix that kind of stuff. But I thought that was funny, man, because that had happened to me many times, to be honest with you, many times. Leave it in the comments, man. I want to know if that has happened to y'all, man. I'm interested. So the second bullet point here is programming means thinking, not typing. This is so true, man. Like, I would say, especially as I have got better at my craft of programming is not too much of the challenge no more, right? Like, knowing how to type, like the syntax and so forth. It really isn't, Obviously, you may come across a new package, so you gotta, you're not gonna know, right? When it comes to coding, or you may need to test out certain functions of that package and so on. But again, that's where documentation comes in, right? That's where you read the documentation and get familiar with how certain functions work for that package, and then then you start coding. But it's not typing, man. And that's so true, man. As you become more senior, anybody who's new, as you become more senior, man, you're gonna realize that the typing piece is not the challenge part. It's the solving a problem, right? Architecting and trying to figure out how you're gonna solve X, Y, and Z problem. How to get these services work with this services and things of that nature, right? And all of that. That's where you got to think everything through. So that's so true, man. Counting starts from 0, not 1. And again, anybody who's been coding long enough, dude, we all know it's 0, right? That's very basic, straightforward. When you're new, never coded before, no background, you may be thinking 1, but trust me, as you start becoming a more senior, you start programming more, dude. Like my daughter. So I have a daughter, and we be talking about numbers. She's like, ooh, like start counting numbers or whatever. She was younger, And then she'll, of course, she'll be 1, 2. Of course, my input is no, it's 0, it's 0, 1. And again, just kind of get programmed in your mind, right? 1 is not the starting point, it's 0. So I've been kind of putting that on her as well. So let's see. The next one is even after completing a degree and courses and working on IT projects, learning never stops. So true. If you wanna stay competitive, and this is true to an extent, right? So I'll explain to that. I know, especially for me, man, when I first started in my earlier ages of programming, I was just trying to learn everything, dude. I was learning, Python, then from Python, some packages, then started learning different tools, and then started learning, of course, JavaScript, then from there, C Sharp, and then Golang, and just dude, I would like scattered all over the place, man. Different frameworks, and I mean, again, like, yeah, I got like now I got certain concepts, and I learn a little bit here, a little bit there, but dude, I'm not a Golang developer. No, I mean, I would really need to spend a little bit of time if I want to build a project now, or or whatever other language. But in the beginning, I was just trying to learn everything, and so again, there is some truth to that where you don't never stop learning. Because even to the day, I don't stop learning. Now the difference today though is I learn as on a need to know basis. So there's always stuff coming up, right? And for me, but instead of me just learning whatever just for the sake of I may need it one day, I don't know. What I do different now is there's always stuff popping up every month, and as stuff pops up, that's when I start to learn that new item, whatever that is. Then so I'm learning every day, but it's the strategy when it comes to learning is different. I think in my earlier years, it was more of I didn't have a lot of projects going on. I just wanted to become good, so it's like, hey, let me try to learn everything. So, that'll help me out in my career or help me out get a job or whatever it is. Which I think it's a bad idea. I think it's better to focus on something specific, right? If you're gonna be like a web developer, focus on JavaScript, focus on, let's say, some kind of back end, whether it be Python or JavaScript or Ruby or PHP, something, right? But focus on those two and then learn them very well instead of bouncing from C Sharp to Golang to JavaScript to Python to whatever, all these different languages, the cool new framework is out. Oh, there's a Vue's out. Let me learn Vue. Oh man, there's a React Native out. Oh, let me go learn that. Right, just like Flutter's out. Let me, just bouncing all over the place, and you really don't even know when you do that. You really don't know much, man. You just know basics of all of this. So the way I learn now is way different, man. I am always learning, but I'm learning on a need to learn basis. And as things pop up, new projects or whatever it is, there's something new to learn, and I'm learning it, right? Some new technology, a new package, something whatever it may be. But that's what I have noticed. But kind of going back, you don't ever stop learning, man. Now there are some cases, some rare cases, small cases where people do stop learning, and ultimately what happens is they don't really grow. They get stuck at their job, wherever they're working at. They get stuck, and maybe it works out well in some cases because if you're working to, let's say, there are certain companies, I don't know, let's say like military contract companies that work with the government. A lot of the time, dude, they're dealing with very like Fortran or C++ code or whatever that's just very established, languages that are very old. So if you're one of those individuals and you're stuck there and you haven't learned a new language, or you don't know nothing about frameworks, or you don't even deal with web, you just deal with algorithms and back end stuff or whatever. Yeah, and I mean there are some cases where that you not learning, still got to get a job, but man, honestly, you don't become as valuable. You only become valuable to that company and that project only. Once the project is done, and maybe there's nothing needed or whatever, dude, your skills are archaic pretty much, right? You have not kept up with it. So there are developers out there, but again, strongly recommend keep up, be familiar with it, be agile. So when you need to, you could jump to a new language, a new framework, and learn it, especially if you need it for the purpose of a job. So you got to be lean on that, man. So yeah, kind of going back, never stop learning, guys. You don't need serious math skills. So 100% true, man. A lot of the interviews, and again, it all started with big tech. I don't know if it was Google, maybe it was Google, but big tech. Oh, you gotta do all these, binary tree search and all these algorithm whiteboard. It makes it very challenging. It makes it seem almost like you need these skills, but the reality is most people don't use those skills to code anyways. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong learning that, but most people don't use it. There are some people that do use it, by all means, but most, man, keyword, most people don't. But it seems like a lot of companies want to implement that or want to have that kind of requirement. Oh, you got to be good in math. It's like, no, dude. Most programs that I know of, anyways, I'm not saying they're not good at math, but they really don't use math as much. And some of the math that you do use, a lot of the time, it's kind of more on the basic level, man. If you're like a game developer, there's math involved from X and Y axis points and that things move right in the game and move or whatever, but it's like, okay, that's to some degree, but again, it's more basic math. It's not like this, oh, you need to be some kind of statistician, this high level and skill set in math to be a developer, because you don't, man. You don't. I can tell you that right now. So that is so true. You don't need a degree. So I'm one from my own experience, dude. I don't have a degree. Anybody that has been watching my channel long enough knows that I will fall under that self-taught bucket, right? Now, again, self-taught is very, people have different views of what that means. It's like, oh, well, if you learn from YouTube or you learn from people, you're really not self-taught. You learn from others. Okay, whatever you want to call it. But I did not learn the traditional way. Like, I don't have a CS degree. Here's the thing. I don't have nothing against a degree. Especially, I have issues with degrees, but I don't have an issue per se when it comes to CS. Because at least for the last 10 plus years, people that have got CS degrees have got a return on their investment, right? So, let's say they pay $80,000 for that degree. But, dude, there are a lot of people have been able to get good paying jobs off of that degree, which ultimately will pay off their school and been very well financially. My issue with traditional education or with degrees are not necessarily with a CS degree, but more some of these other ones, man, that these other degrees that don't bring that much value, or if it does help you get a job, it's a job that only pays $35,000 a year. So it's like, okay, is that worth it? Again, I don't think so, but that's my opinion, right? But either way, I don't have a degree. There's other people that I've come across that don't have degrees. It would get their foot in the door. Now, what I would say, though, when you don't have a degree, especially like today, like in this environment where there have been a lot of big layoffs of companies employees with a lot of skills already and very, that lost their job, and a lot of this big tech companies, right? Google, Meta, Apple, maybe, not Amazon or whatever. A lot of these, big companies. So if they're gonna go into interview with CS degree, most probably, and then if they don't have a degree, it doesn't matter. They're gonna have experience working at a big tech company, and if you don't have a CS degree, it's gonna be tough. But it's not impossible. And that's where I feel like you gotta have something to show for it, man. If you're trying to get it done, you gotta know your stuff. You gotta be the work that you do has to be good, not just okay. It needs to be good. So then you gotta practice on your craft. Get well, speak with knowledge, man. Don't get to the point just copy code, and then it works, but you don't know what it does. You want it to know what it does. So when you talk to somebody, like let's say a hiring manager that gives you a chance for interview, you could wow them with your school. Like, dude, he has no degree, but dude, he knows his stuff, and he looks sharp, and he showed me a project that looks awesome, and that would help you out, man. It will. So again, it's very doable, but it is a bit tougher if you don't have a CS degree. So you got to keep that in mind. sleeping with a problem can actually solve it. So this has happened to me many times, guys. I don't know if this happened to y'all, but it has happened to me many times where I'm stuck, dude. I'm stuck with a problem. And earlier in my career, I felt like, dude, I used to stay up all night. Like there were times, not all the time. There's a few times where I would be up for like 4, 6 hours, dude. Like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, because I'm trying to solve this problem. I'm just pounding my head. I'm trying to figure it out. And then what I come to realize is in those cases, if I go to sleep, there's a very good chance, man. I'm not sure why it works out this way, but it does. But there's a real good chance that in the middle of the night or when I wake up in the morning, dude, I'm gonna wake up like I wake up with the answer. Like my mind just knows, like, dude, I solved the problem. And then as soon as I get up, boom, go to my computer, try it out real quick, and problem solve. That has happened to me many times, guys. The difference is now I don't force myself to stay up for hours to try to solve it. What I come to realize is when I'm stuck in those situations, I call it a day, clear my mind, go to sleep, and there's a real good chance, dude, I'm going to solve it pretty soon. Most likely the next day. So that I have experienced firsthand, and dude, it has worked out very well, man. So that's very true. But yeah, guys, just wanted to share this with y'all, man. One of the things that I thought was just funny, being the repairman. But again, this says PC repairman. Dude, I have family members reach out to me to repair TVs, dude. Not even computers. At least computers, I could be like, hey, I could tell you what's wrong. Maybe CPU's bad or your RAM or something, right? But dude, TV, like, dude, I don't fix those damn TVs. But yeah, man, I thought it was interesting. And again, guys, just wanted to share this post with y'all. There'll be more videos like this that I'll be kind of talking, certain posts that I find, I'll be sharing with the community and with y'all, kind of discuss, get my input. But yeah, guys, again, like always, man, appreciate it. Thanks for watching the video, and see y'all next time. Peace.